On the far western edge of Ireland, where green hills crumble into the roaring Atlantic, lies a place that feels untouched by time. A place where the wind speaks in ancient whispers and the ocean dictates the rhythm of life. This is Dunquin, or Dunchawan in Irish, a tiny village perched at the very end of the Dingle Peninsula in County Kerry. It's often called the most isolated village in Ireland, and perhaps in all of Europe. Here, the roads twist like ribbons through mist and stone. The horizon is endless, the weather unpredictable, and the silence profound. For generations, the people of Dunquin have lived in quiet defiance of nature's extremes, farming rocky soil, fishing dangerous waters, and preserving the Irish language that still echoes through the valleys. To outsiders, it may seem remote, even lonely. But to those who call it home, Dunquin is sacred, a living link to Ireland's ancient soul. In this place, isolation isn't emptiness, it's peace, it's belonging. It's a reminder that even at the edge of the world, life continues. Strong, simple, and beautifully human. At the farthest reach of Ireland, where the green hills fall into the endless blue of the Atlantic, lies a place that seems to exist outside of time. This is Dunquin, or Dunchawan in Irish, the last village before Europe disappears into the sea. Locals call it the edge of the world, and when you stand here, watching the waves crash below the cliffs, it's easy to understand why. The road to Dunquin winds through a landscape of mist and silence. Sheep wander across narrow lanes, stone walls crumble beneath centuries of wind, and every bend reveals another breathtaking view. Cliffs that rise like fortresses, and islands scattered like stepping stones into the horizon. Beyond them lies nothing but ocean, stretching thousands of kilometers toward the coast of America. Life here moves differently. The air feels thicker, charged with the power of nature. The sea is not just a view, it is a presence, a living force that defines everything. The people of Dunquin have learned to live with its moods, calm one moment, fierce the next. Standing on these cliffs, you can feel the heartbeat of Ireland, raw, ancient, and untamed. It's a place that humbles you, reminding you of how small we are compared to the vastness of nature. Yet it's also deeply human, a testament to endurance, faith, and quiet beauty. This is the edge of Europe, where stories are carried on the wind, and the world feels both infinite and intimate all at once. Life in Dunquin exists in constant conversation with the elements. Between towering cliffs and the restless Atlantic, every moment is shaped by the rhythm of wind and water. The sea is both neighbor and master, beautiful, unpredictable, and eternal. It brings life to the village, yet it can just as easily take it away. Generations have lived here by listening to its voice. Fishermen once set out in small, hand-built boats called naumhogs, braving the swells for fish to feed their families. Farmers worked the thin soil that clings to the rocky ground, planting potatoes and tending sheep on steep green slopes. In the distance, waves crash against the cliffs in an endless symphony, a sound that never stops, even in sleep. When storms roll in, the sky darkens, and the Atlantic roars with fury. The wind sweeps through the valleys, rattling stone cottages and bending the grass flat. For days, the village can feel completely alone, cut off from the rest of Ireland, surrounded by mist and waves. Yet when the sun returns, it feels like the entire world has been reborn. Here, nature gives and takes in equal measure. The people of Dunquin have learned not to fight it, but to flow with it, to find peace in its unpredictability. Between cliffs and sea, they have built lives defined not by wealth or comfort, but by endurance, connection, and quiet awe. In this place, survival is not a struggle, it is a way of belonging. Dunquin is more than a village, it is a heartbeat of Irish identity. Here, at the edge of Europe, the language of Ireland still lives, In this small, windswept community, the people speak Gaelic, the Irish tongue, not as a relic of the past, but as the living voice of the present. This region is part of the Gaeltacht, the cultural soul of Ireland, where traditions have survived the pull of modernity. In Dunquin, road signs, songs, and conversations flow in Irish. Children learn it before English, and stories that have been told for centuries are still spoken around kitchen tables or sung softly in pubs when the firelight flickers. To outsiders, it may seem like a language on the edge of extinction, but to the people here, Irish is a bridge, connecting them to ancestors who once fished these same waters and farmed these same fields. Each word carries history, emotion, and belonging. In the rhythm of the language, you can hear the rhythm of the land, slow, lyrical, and deeply rooted in nature. The cliffs, the sea, and the wind all have names that only make sense in Irish. It's as if the landscape itself was written in this language long before humans arrived. To walk through Dunquin is to step into a living museum of Ireland's heritage, but it's not frozen in time. It breathes, it grows, and it speaks. This is the Gaelic heartland, where the soul of Ireland still whispers through every wave and every word. Just off the coast of Dunquin, scattered like emerald stones across the Atlantic, lie the Blasket Islands, a place once alive with laughter, language, and song. For centuries, these islands were home to a small but vibrant Irish-speaking community, living in harmony with the wildness around them. The people of the Blaskets were fishermen, farmers, and storytellers. Their lives were simple but rich, shaped by the sea and bound by community. They rowed naumhogs across treacherous waters, traded with the mainland, and raised their families in stone cottages that faced the endless horizon. Every day was a test of endurance, but also a celebration of life lived close to nature. The Blaskets became famous through the words of their own people. Writers like Tomás Ó Criomhtháin, Peig Sayers, and Muiris Ó Suiliabhain, who recorded their lives in books that are now treasures of Irish literature. Their stories captured not only the hardship of island life, but also its poetry, humor, and beauty. By 1953, the struggle became too great. The young had left, the sea too dangerous, and the islands too isolated. That year, the last inhabitants were evacuated to the mainland, many settling here in Dunquin. But their spirit never vanished. The Blasket Islands remain visible from the cliffs, silent, haunting, and beautiful reminders of a vanished world. Their legacy still lives in the voices of Dunquin's people, in the Irish language they speak, and in the memories carried by the wind. To stand on the cliffs of Dunquin and gaze across the water is to feel that connection, the thread between past and present, between island and mainland, between memory and eternity. In most places, isolation is something to be escaped. But in Dunquin, it has become a way of life, a quiet companion that shapes both the land and the people who remain. Here, on the western fringe of Ireland, solitude is not loneliness, it is identity. For generations, the villagers have lived far from the noise of the modern world. The nearest town lies miles away along winding cliffside roads, often cut off by winter storms. When the Atlantic rages, it can feel as if the rest of the world has disappeared, swallowed by mist and waves. Yet within that silence, there is peace. The people of Dunquin have learned to read the moods of the sea, to measure time by the tides and the turning of the seasons. They know the sound of an approaching storm before the clouds even form. Their connection to nature is not poetic, it's practical, instinctive, and deeply spiritual. Isolation here has preserved more than just tradition. It has preserved a sense of self. In the stillness, life feels slower, truer, and more deliberate. Neighbors still look after one another. Every visitor is greeted like family. Every sunrise feels earned. While the world grows louder and faster, Dunquin remains steady, untouched by urgency. Its isolation is not a weakness, but a form of wisdom. Because at the edge of Europe, cut off from everything else, the people of Dunquin have found something rare, the freedom to simply be. In Dunquin, time seems to move slower, but even here, it cannot stand still forever. The world beyond the cliffs keeps changing, and with each passing year, the village grows quieter. The laughter of children once echoed through its lanes. Now, many of those children have moved away, chasing work and opportunity in distant cities. Only a few dozen people remain, most of them older, rooted to the land by memory and belonging. They tend their sheep, mend their stone walls, and speak the Irish language that connects them to generations past. The rhythm of their days is guided not by clocks or calendars, but by the sea, the wind, and the light that breaks over the Atlantic each morning. Modern conveniences have reached Dunquin, electricity, paved roads, even the occasional tourist bus, but the spirit of the place remains untouched. Life here is about simplicity, a small fire, a warm meal, a conversation shared at dusk. Yet beneath that beauty lies a quiet sadness. The traditions that define Dunquin, the songs, the stories, the way of living close to the earth, are fading as the younger generation leaves. The village endures, but its heartbeat grows softer. Still, those who remain carry a quiet pride. They are the keepers of something rare, a way of life that has nearly vanished from the modern world. And though the future of Dunquin is uncertain, its legacy is eternal, written not in history books, but in the land itself, in the salt of the air, and in the memories of all who have stood at Ireland's edge and felt its soul. In Dunquin, nature is not just a backdrop, it is the main character. Every breath of wind, every shift of cloud, every crashing wave tells a story older than time. The cliffs rise like ancient guardians, sculpted by centuries of storms. Below them, the Atlantic roars endlessly, carving the coastline with patience and power. The beauty here is wild and unapologetic. On calm days, the sea glows with impossible shades of blue and green, and sunlight dances on the water like liquid gold. But when the storms arrive, and they always do, the same sea becomes a force of fury, swallowing the horizon in mist and thunder. Waves slam against the rocks, sending salt spray into the air that tastes of both life and destruction. For the people of Dunquin, this duality is familiar. They've learned that beauty and danger often share the same face. The sea that feeds them can also take everything away. And yet, they do not fear it. They respect it. It teaches humility, patience, and reverence for the balance of life. Here, nature doesn't need to be conquered or controlled. It demands to be understood. The cliffs, the wind, the waves, they shape not only the land, but the spirit of those who live upon it. In Dunquin, nature is both home and teacher. Its power humbles you, its beauty heals you. And when the sun sets over the Atlantic, painting the sky in fire and light, you understand why people have chosen to stay, not in spite of nature's power, but because of it. The road to Dunquin is more than a path. It is a journey into another world. Winding through rolling green hills and rugged cliffs, it feels as though you are leaving behind the noise of the modern age and stepping into Ireland's soul. The further you travel, the narrower the road becomes, curling along the edge of the land where grass meets stone and stone meets sea. Each turn reveals a new wonder, sheep grazing lazily along the roadside, wildflowers bending in the Atlantic breeze, and the endless horizon stretching westward into mist. The silence is alive, filled with the whisper of wind, the distant cry of seabirds, and the rhythmic crash of waves far below. At times the journey feels almost spiritual. The road dips and climbs, tracing a line between civilization and wilderness. Mobile signals fade, time seems to slow, and every mile draws you deeper into the quiet heart of Ireland. By the time you glimpse the village of Dunquin, nestled at the foot of ancient cliffs, you sense that you've arrived somewhere sacred. Perhaps that's what makes this place so unforgettable. It's not just where the road ends, it's where the world seems to pause. Here, the simplicity of life feels profound. The beauty of the landscape, untouched and eternal, invites you to breathe slower, to listen deeper, and to remember that peace still exists in the forgotten corners of the earth. The road to Dunquin doesn't just lead to a village, it leads to a feeling, one that stays with you long after you've gone. In Dunquin, history isn't written in books, it's spoken, sung, and remembered. Here, culture lives through voices carried by the wind, through stories told beside flickering hearths, and through songs that echo across the cliffs. Storytelling has always been the heartbeat of this land, a thread connecting generations, weaving the past into the present. The people of Dunquin and the nearby Blasket Islands were once among Ireland's greatest storytellers. They told tales of fishermen lost at sea, of love and hardship, of spirits that wandered the misty hills. These stories weren't mere entertainment. They were lessons, memories, and prayers disguised as words. Writers from this region, like Paig Sayers and Tomás Ó Criomhtain, preserved those voices in their books. Their words captured the rhythm of Irish life, the laughter, the struggle, and the poetry of existence on the edge of the world. To read them today is to feel the pulse of a vanished way of life still beating in every syllable. Music, too, plays its part. The traditional songs of Kerry, sung in Gaelic, hold centuries of emotion within a few simple notes. They speak of longing, belonging, and the unbreakable bond between people and place. In Dunquin, storytelling isn't an art form, it's a necessity. It keeps the spirit alive. It ensures that even as generations fade and voices fall silent, the essence of this place, its wisdom, humor, and heart, will never disappear. For as long as there are stories to tell, Dunquin will endure, not just as a village on a map, but as a living poem carved into the western edge of Ireland. In Dunquin, time moves differently. The days unfold gently, guided not by clocks, but by the tides, the wind, and the slow passing of clouds across the sky. Morning arrives with the cry of seabirds and the scent of salt in the air. Evening settles softly as golden light spills over the cliffs and disappears into the Atlantic. Here, the modern world feels distant, almost unreal. The rush of cities, the hum of machines, the endless noise of progress, all fade into silence. What remains is something pure, the rhythm of nature and the quiet resilience of those who have chosen to stay. In Dunquin, every stone wall tells a story. Every worn path remembers footsteps long gone. The same wind that once carried the voices of the Blasket Islanders still whispers through the grass. And though much has changed, the soul of this place remains untouched, timeless, eternal. Visitors often say it feels like stepping back in time, but perhaps it's the opposite. Perhaps Dunquin isn't behind time at all. Perhaps it's simply beyond it. A place that reminds us of what the world once was and what it could still be. As the sun sinks beneath the ocean and the horizon fades into dusk, Dunquin seems to hold its breath, suspended between land and sea, past and future, silence and song. Here, at the edge of Europe, time stands still, and in that stillness, Ireland's heart continues to beat. At the edge of Europe, where the land meets the wild Atlantic, Dunquin stands as a quiet reminder of what endures. Its cliffs, its stories, and its people have faced the winds of time and never forgotten who they are. In every gust of sea air and every whisper of Gaelic spoken in the fields, you can feel Ireland's ancient heartbeat, strong, steady, and unbroken. Dunquin is more than a place. It is a feeling, a living poem carved into stone and sea, where simplicity holds more meaning than wealth, and silence speaks louder than words. It reminds us that isolation can be beauty, and that in slowing down, we rediscover what truly matters. So if you ever stand here, on these cliffs at the world's edge, let the wind tell you its story, the story of Ireland's most isolated village, and the spirit that time could never erase. Thank you for watching until the end. If this journey through Dunquin touched your heart, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, so more people can discover the hidden beauty that still breathes in the far corners of our world.